Good afternoon. My name is Itai Green, and I will speak to you today about corporate open innovation and the travel tech nation. So a little bit about myself. 15 years of experience as a startupist. I used to head the innovation activity of Amadeus in Israel. I established Innovate Israel, which helps corporations and governments in all verticals to adopt innovation from startups, realizing that innovation will not come from the R&D departments. And also founded the ITTS, which is the Israeli travel tech startup community. You probably know what's in common between the following brands: the BlackBerry, the Blockbuster, Agfa, Nokia, Yahoo, MySpace. They're all being disrupted by technology. They fail to move with the time. Corporate mistake is to think that what works for them today and used to work for them in the past is going to work for them in the future. And if there is one thing I want you to take out of my presentation is the understanding that what works for each and every one of you today is not going to work for you tomorrow. And why is that? The reason is because of the rate of technological change, which is quick and accelerating. For the telephone of Graham Bell, it took 75 years to reach 50 million users. How much time it takes these days for an app or for a game to reach 50 million users? A lot, much less than 75 years. You can see here that the iPhone number 4, iPhone 4, had better CPU, better performance than the PC in 1985 at the Pentagon. You see on the right that the iPhone 4, which is much smaller than the Mac of 2000, has much stronger capabilities. This is all thanks to technology. These brands were not here till recently. And each and every brand like this disrupted its industry. And each and everyone here knows the Airbnb that doesn't really own a single room, but is the biggest accommodation chain. This slide you know very well. I will not stick to it, but you know this slide very, I mean, many are here from the hotel industry. And you know, there is something else which is interesting. Who imagined that giants like Alibaba, for an example, would get into the hotel industry? Who thought that Alibaba would get into car vending machines? Who could imagine that Amazon is going to get into insurance? I mean, you know nowadays who are your competitors, but you don't really know who it's going to be tomorrow. The open innovation is an unlimited opportunity. It's based on the understanding that the smartest people are not working for you. They're working for someone else. First of all, statistically, it's right. I mean, even for Google, the smartest people are not working for Google, statistically. So if that's true, and if you agree with it, then the solution is to work with these other people. And in most cases, these smart people are startupists. You know what's in common between the following brands? These are all Israeli unicorns. Israeli unicorns that corporations are coming to look for them and to make sure they put their hand on the next waves before the competitor does. These brands, with another 350 alike, are investing in Israel millions and tens of millions euros annually in order not to miss. They know that if they miss, they disappear. Innovation is a must for governments, for corporations, for other organizations. Why is that? In order to improve the quality, to have a higher speed, higher efficiency, reduce costs, and of course, to increase also revenues by selling new products, new offerings. And it's all by technology. In Israel, the ecosystem is very unique. There is one startup per less than 2,000 Israelis. When you are visiting Israel and you sit in a cafe, you see in most cases, young lady or young guy with a laptop. It's a startup. And in Israel, these startups can find money relatively easy, funds. In investment per capita, it's 30 times more than Europe. It's 2.5 times more than the States. So funds are not an issue. Many corporations are opening their R&D centers, innovation hubs, and investment arms in Israel. Booking.com is a good example for that. Last year, they've decided to open their machine learning R&D center in Tel Aviv. And as any other corporate, they had the dilemma whether to do so in Tel Aviv or in the Silicon Valley. I think they chose right, but I'm not objective. The Israeli ecosystem has 6,000 startups, endless number of foreign governmental delegations, nearly 100 VCs, around 200 microfunds and angels, 100 accelerators and incubators mostly are run by private sector, not by governmental, not by academy. Many tech organizations, tech transfer organizations, many great universities, and this ecosystem is relatively unique because everyone are speaking to everyone, even competitors. So that's quite unique comparing to other places, and thanks to this uniqueness, this ecosystem is able to run and move very, very fast. When you are looking for a certain technology in Israel, it's relatively easy to find at least the leading startups in each and every technology. For an example, if you're looking for cyber technology map in Israel, you get this map. If you're looking for artificial intelligence, you get this. At this stage, you were supposed to say, wow. So it's either you fall asleep, or it's not interesting, or I don't know, or you already know that. But when I see that, I say, wow. So please? Wow. Okay. And be prepared, there is at least one more slide that you're supposed to say, wow. So please, at this case, please don't miss it. This is for Internet of Things. This is for the fintech. This is for retail tech. These startups, what they are looking for the most, and they're really eager to, they want to work with you. And why is that? They want to have a POC, a proof of concept, with you. They want you to be their design partner. They bring a great technology. They're very smart people, most of them, and they are eager to succeed. And why are they looking for you? Because you have the know-how of your industry. You know the industry the best, much better than any other student or whatever, and you have a working platform. So they are eager to work with you. That's a great opportunity for corporations. But in order to work with startups, you need to know how to do that. It's not easy. In most cases, the culture is totally different. And if you are an organization that really wants to work with startups and get the value in order not to end up like Nokia, then you need to come with an open mind to create fast track in your organizations. You have to have a C-level commitment, CEO, CMO, CFO, CTO, CIO, whatever. You have to know what are your challenges, set the challenges. What are your technological and business challenges for the next 3 to 5 years? Which are the areas where you're looking for technology to help you? You have to treat the startups not as a supplier, but as a partner. You have to overcome the culture gap, which means that you have to take to have a deep understanding that startup would never speak the corporate language. If you want to speak with startups, you have to speak the startup language. And I'll talk about it in a minute. You have to pay them on time. They're not a bank. You don't pay them in 120 days from now. They're not a bank. They don't give you a loan. Okay? In Israel, you pay in cash. I mean, it does mean not with a suitcase, okay? But you pay on time. I mean, you pay at the end of the month for a startup. You have to be available 24/7 because that's what they expect. When a startup sent me a message on Saturday evening when I was in Amadeus and at 10 p.m., and I wouldn't reply in 10 minutes, he would think that we are not interested anymore in this startup. That's their understanding. You have to get into their head. You have to have in your corporate single point of contact to be in touch with startups. Otherwise, you are a joke in the eyes of the startups. It creates a mess. I know many people in the corporate really like to have the title innovation or any other title related to startups. It's very sexy these days. But there must be one person in the corporate or in the government that knows all related to startups. He is the door that the startup knocks on. That's super important. You have to provide a startup with an answer, yes or no. Yes, it's interesting. No, it's not interesting. You don't say a startup, let me think, let's set a meeting or a call in next quarter. I mean, next quarter, this startup might be dead or not relevant for you. I mean, maybe you are not interesting for this startup in the next quarter. So if it's interesting, let's do business. You have to have a budget. You have to treat them in respect, transparency. And another tip, which I think is super important, in the board of directors, in the management, around the table, there has to be at least one person with an orientation to technology, to startups, to innovation. Otherwise, all discussions are really irrelevant. This is an article that I've published with 10 tips to corporations a week and a half ago. You can take a look. I mean, this presentation is a little bit tight in terms of, although I got another 5 minutes, right? But you can take a few tips, 10 tips regarding successful implementation of open innovation. I've actually launched a couple of years ago, exactly a couple of years ago, a community of travel tech in Israel. This community is managed by a guy named Michael Ben Aaron, and we have nearly 300 travel tech startups. We have all these startupists communicated via a very sophisticated platform, WhatsApp. And the level of networking and the startups that are helping each other is unbelievable. If a startup is looking for an API from Amadeus, you just type on the WhatsApp group, and within a second, he knows exactly who is the one to get in touch with in order to get the API. And corporations and governments that are looking into specific technologies are approaching us, and we help them to get in touch with the most relevant startups. We also have technologies that originally were not thinking even about travel, but they are shifting the product toward the travel industry because they see that there is a business there, and we help them to make the business. You can follow us also on LinkedIn and Facebook, and also WhatsApp, this incredible technology that's quite rare, and I'm sure that you know it. What's the mission of this ITTS organization is to make Israel as the center of the travel tech industry around the world. It's to expand the level of exposure of these startups to global corporations, is to promote these startups, to help them get funded, is to create collaboration, is also to help governments around the world to create ecosystems of travel tech. And we can bring a lot of know-how from our experience to your destinations. You can find us also on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We have a website where you can register for a newsletter. You have a map there of the startupists. We have many meetups, physical meetups. It's not only around WhatsApp, okay? We also meet with each other, although it's not that sexy these days. And this is, and I highly recommend you take a photo out of it. I mean, I believe each and everyone here has a smartphone. This is the Israeli travel tech ecosystem map. And each and every one of you can find the most relevant, the best startups for its interest. For an example, if you're looking for OTA, if you're an OTA, if you're looking to increase your revenues, if you're meta search, and anything, booking engines, touring activities, Each and every sub-segment has its own best startups. And this is something you can also find on our website. The community of travel tech startups in Israel, the number of new startups in Israel in the area of travel tech is doubled every 3 years. Most of the startups already has a working product, so you can enjoy this technology. As I mentioned, we're not doing only virtual work around WhatsApp and LinkedIn and Facebook and so on. We also have a physical space, which is called Labs. It's a co-working space like WeWork and so on. And in this place, we brought 70 travel tech entrepreneurs. So when a mission is coming from abroad to meet the travel industry, the travel tech industry, we meet them at our hub, at Labs. And I'll tell you a secret, there is also a small corporate there called Booking.com. So when an Israeli travel tech entrepreneur is looking for a kind of collaboration with Booking.com, it doesn't need to send an email to the Netherlands, it just needs to knock on the next door. So it helps a lot for the startupists to move fast. A year and a half ago, there was a competition by Visa. 200 startups applied for this competition. 90 were from Israel. To the final, they had 15, 8 were from our community, from Israel, and the winners were 3. How many from Israel? Only 2. Last week, there was a competition in Madrid by the UNWTO and Globalia. 3,000 startups applied globally. To the semi-final, they had 20. How many from Israel? Only 5. To the final last week in Madrid, there were 10 startups. How many from Israel? 4. And the winners were 2 Israelis. So, I mean, many were really surprised. I was not, because there is a real strong travel tech community in Israel. These are examples of startups that are raising significant Israeli startups that are raising significant funds from really well-known brands and VCs. And you can definitely see there is an online growth. I mean, everyone here knows that the travel is growing in the online space. And many VCs are getting now into this business. You see more and more interest from VCs from around the world in the travel tech business. You also see a lot of M&As, mergers and acquisitions. And some of the reasons are because people, travelers, nowadays are traveling more. They want it all now, okay? And in order to provide them with this experience, you have to really move forward with technology. You cannot do that without relying on technology. And there are many new ways to interact with customers, make marketing methods, and new services. And there are few areas that you can see more technology at. One of them is connected operations. A lot of technology is coming from the smart building business to the hotel business. You can also see a lot of an increasing interest and a lot of technologies around virtual reality and augmented reality. A lot of AI and chatbots. And it's not only improve the experience of the client, it also helps the corporations to collect a lot of data, analyze it, personalize the offering, and much more. And of course, you can see a lot of social reviews and a lot of working around this space, and of course, robots in hotels, and also RPAs, which is robot processing automations. Around the social media and reviews, I can tell you about a startup which is called Aspectiva. When I was in Amadeus, they came and told me that they have a great technology. They know how to analyze reviews according to each and every product which is online. Let's say I want to buy a food processor and my wife wants to buy. I'm looking for something small and she's looking for something quiet. So she's looking for something and I'm looking for something completely different. So I asked them, why not doing so with reviews in hotels? So currently, they shifted the technology a little bit, and now it's implemented at Agoda, agoda.com. So now when you're looking for a hotel, and you're looking for a hotel with strong Wi-Fi, and my mom is looking for a hotel without a smell at the kitchen, then each and every one of you is looking for something else. And if you're looking for TripAdvisor reviews, probably the reviews that are relevant are around review number 800. And I'm lazy, I will end up at number 5. So this technology helps to analyze all those reviews. So it's Aspectiva, really good startup to take a look at. In the travel agency, you can see the following trends: AR, VR, AI, Internet of Things, social media network, and data science. And around the hospitality, you can see the following trends, technological trends. And now, with your permission, I want you to get some value from my presentation. And what I'm gonna do now, I picked some that are really great startups, so you can get in touch with them directly. So the deal is as follows. You take your camera, and I tell you a few words about each and every startup, and if you think it's relevant for you and can provide you with value, you have the email of the entrepreneur. You don't need me. You just need to send an email to the entrepreneur. Okay? So let's start. We'll see how it works. So RumorFlex is a cancellation protection for non-refundable reservations, especially for travel agents that wants to make more money. SimGo is this product, which I do not travel without. I carry it wherever I go. You know what's that? That's a mobile router without a SIM. So I don't buy roaming. I don't need to replace, there is no SIM here. Okay, I just turn it on and I have Wi-Fi for 5 devices. That's amazing for hotels, because people that are coming to you, I mean, you can offer them Wi-Fi for a relatively small amount of money, and also on the way, you can get in touch with them. So I'm now out of my hotel. I'm not at the Hilton. So my hotel can tell me that in the evening, I can have 2 beers in a price of 1. Only thanks to that. So that's really cool. Refundit is the startup that won last week in Madrid. They help you get a tax-free refund. How was it? How was it? It's a proactive customer care platform. It's a great AI, great chatbot. Provo is the same room for a lower price. So if travel agents, for example, wants to make more money, this is a great way for that. Sivuv is a trip planning experience based on video watching. Bytemojo is a cool app. They're active in 11 or 12 cities around the world. It connects travelers to destinations through great local food. Self-guided culinary trip. It's really cool and amazing. It can help people here from governments and so on to increase traffic and provide the travelers with a better experience. Travelio is an experience-oriented dynamic package solution. Rider is a transfer booking system for travel agents. Top Agent is a management solution for travel agencies. Save a Train is a train travel booking made easy. Gamity, if you want to increase the level of conversion on your website, this is a great solution. If you are happy with what you have, don't take a photo. Wizard is an AI-based flight booking platform that doubles the profit of the travel agents. Yells is an out-of-the-box, ready-to-use customer engagement platform for your marketplace or website. Trails, the outdoor mobility data miners. Guide Now is a fully automated, on-demand guided tour booking system. Trip Expert is a solution for the urban traveler. WishTrip is an experience management for destinations. PinSteps is a digital tours promotion and marketplace on a mobile platform. Pick a Peer creates the marina of the future. Nowtech is a machine learning for better creative on your website. Very smart lady. It increased a lot the level of conversion. The entrepreneur is a very smart lady. Booking Direction is a great tool for hoteliers that doesn't really want to pay 20 to 25% for commission for OTAs. I mean, if there are hoteliers here and you want to pay 25%, don't take a photo. But if you want to reduce it to 3%, that's the technology. Group 2, easy system allowing to create a customized design app for group travelers. Who's your guest is like TripAdvisor, but in reverse. Hotels review the guests. That's also important in some cases. This is the last slide, almost. I'll be more than happy as ITTS and as Innovate Israel to help each and every organization here or corporate to engage with these startups and others. And there is a benefit from both sides, as I just mentioned. And I'm sure that the travel corporations, if they don't want to end up like Nokia, have to engage with startups, because if you will rely only on your internal R&D department, it's not going to end good, really. You can't, with all the respect to R&D departments in corporations, they're working 5 days a week. They work 9 to 5. In most cases, they are not most updated in technology. Startups can bring you a lot of value, and trust me, it also brings a very good cultural change into your organization. So if you want to get in touch with me, it's very, very easy. As each and every one here, I don't speak over the phone, I just message. And so it's either via WhatsApp or LinkedIn or email. Thank you very much.